Coming to you live at the GAMA Trade Show at the Peppermill Resort and Casino in Reno, Nevada, Twist Gaming! Now take it away, Matt. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, and we are coming to you live here from GAMA 2019, bringing you all the board game coverage all week long. And right now, we are joined with Matt Fantastic and Emma from Killjoy. Folks, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
I'm great.
So far, how has GAMA been treating you?
I've had a great GAMA. Lots of cool meetings, lots of cool projects in the horizon, some really good responses to projects that are almost out and getting shown to retailers.
It's my first time, so it's been a little overwhelming, but it's been great. Got a lot of play tests for my game designs and good meetings and stuff as well.
Fantastic to hear. And let's just jump right into it. I see you brought a whole bunch of games to show off today.
I did.
What are we doing first?
So we're going to do real quick run-throughs at the end of some of the upcoming other stuff that we have, but today we are going to focus on And Then We Died.
And Then We Died.
As you can kind of see, it comes in this cute little bag that is totally washed out, but it's cool.
It says And Then We Died.
Trust me, it's a cute little bag, and it is a cooperative storytelling game that Emma designed for us, and we're going to let her really run the show here because she's a lot more exciting to listen to than me.
Sounds good to me.
I hope so. I know a little bit about the game.
I would hope so.
So yeah, And Then We Died is a cooperative storytelling game. You play as ghosts trying to figure out how we all died together so we can pass on to the other side. We have these really cool cards you'll see here. They're tarot-sized and have some tarot art on them as well. Use the word fragments to make a word. One of the really cool mechanics about this is you're actually throwing your teammates under the bus. So when I make a word, I don't have to use that in my story. So I don't have to worry about
you're just passing it down the line.
Yeah,
then.
so I can make like the most bizarre word and just like, okay, you work that in. Importantly for playing the game is we die at the end. So we play a number of cards. It can be a shorter or a longer game, but we don't die until the very end. So we're setting the stage kind of at the beginning. So the first word I'm going to play, I'm just going to go ahead and make a word and set us off. Normally I would make a word and point to somebody else, but I'll do a little example. I like to do an example of how the first round works. So I would make a word spam and kick us off into the new universe. There's a couple of things I can do with spam. I think I'm going to go with spam emails. I remember, we all worked in the IT department, and on this particular day, it was Friday at like 5 p.m., and our company all of a sudden received this huge influx of just like spam emails. Like the whole system was going down. We were getting crazy, tons of spam, and we all wanted to go home. You know, it's like Friday, ready for the weekend to go party, but we couldn't because we were like locked to our desks by this influx. It was like in Hackers, you know, where they're sitting there, the mainframe is going down, everything's lighting up red, so total disaster. All right. So I've made the word spare, and I'm going to toss it over to Matt.
So I remember that we had this this crazy situation going on, right? We were like, everything was busted, and then but then I remembered, because I'm like, you know, the strongest link on the team here.
Oh yeah.
That holy shit! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! We have a spare internet.
Oh yeah.
Let's just pull out the spare internet.
Yeah, just a whole extra internet.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I'm going to go ahead and add one here, and I'm going to put hut. And this is also going to be the first one that has tarot art on it, right?
Yeah.
So the cards are double-sided. You know, sort of like the vague framing device is that there's a mystic that's kind of trying to tell the fortune, and we're communicating through that with our like bits and fragments from the other side.
And as you'll see here, you can put the cards underneath. You can put them on top. You can also cover up other words.
Oh, so like portions of words.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So all of the mechanics are meant to be to enable the story. Another thing I like to tell people is don't check your Scrabble dictionary. So if someone misspells a word, like, that's not a word. Yeah, it is. Like, that will totally kill the story. So it's all about, like, improv mentality, yes and.
Like, that's an acceptable crane.
Yeah, crane. And if there's ever a question, just like, what did you intend with that? Then the person who made the word can clarify as, oh, you know, like a crane, like that's the bird.
Yeah, exactly,
like, okay.
Exactly.
And keep it moving. So who are you gonna point to for?
Well, I want to throw that hut.
Yeah.
Over to me.
Right to
Okay.
you, yeah.
Well, I remember that after we successfully replaced the internet with our spare to fix all the spam messages
Plug
that we
it
were
in.
getting in, we got really hungry, so we went down to the Pizza Hut for lunch. So that was just down the block from the office building. And we were all heading over there. That's where my memory gets a little fuzzy again.
Yeah.
Oh man. How about Rare?
Rare. Excellent. Who are you going to point to?
Pointing you.
Give you another card there.
Okay.
Okay. So this particular Pizza Hut, it wasn't. I mean, when you go to a chain restaurant, so you kind of expecting a consistent experience, but
Oh,
for
yeah.
some reason, this one, the pizza always came out rare. So I
A little doughy.
Yeah, everyone's had that rare pizza before, right? Like I don't know if their ovens were broken. I was gonna say onions. If their ovens were broken, if they just weren't even cooking it, if they're just leaving it out in the sun for a little while just to warm it up. But the pizza, it was always just dripping, and not with cheese, just the dough dripping down onto your plate. So it's pretty gross, but it was close. We didn't want to walk any farther, so that was kind of what we had to deal with. Stone. I'm going to slip this under here and make cold. To you, Matt.
So, I mean, this pizza was pretty rare. Part of that is because it was cold too. So it
Yeah.
was just we're like, yo, is this either really high? Is this ppizza tartare? Is this a real high end Pizza Hut?
Cuisine.
Yeah. Is this avant garde?
Yeah.
But we weren't sure, but we tried it anyway. And
Yeah.
we kind of told ourselves that it was real good, but unfortunately, it kind of made us a little sick.
Yeah.
And it was uncooked pizza dough had some kind of something in it that wasn't good.
Are you gonna make a word?
I am going to make a word. I am going to make. I'm going to make crane.
And it comes out.
And that's going to be the bird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The bird. And we'll send it back to Matt. We'll just do. There's three of us. We can just do it that way.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
So one of the other things is, since it was an avant-garde Pizza Hut that was doing the pizza tartare, if you will, we were looking at the menu, and we saw that there were some different ingredients on there, one of which being wild organic crane.
Ooh,
Yeah.
organic. Okay. That's high end.
So I remember vividly now the discussion we were having about how unique that was to see this free-range crane on this avant-garde doughy pizza. Yeah.
Was
Pizza
it
Hut
was it
pizza.
gluten-free crane?
It was the gluten-free uncooked dough with the crane. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Maybe that's why it wasn't cooking. They just need to throw some gluten in there.
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Or the
there.
crane. Crane is actually like a heat sink.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you knew this about crane meat.
Crane
It
sucks
really-
all the heat
really
from.
absorbs.
So how
I've
about
heard that.
I do last down there, and I'm gonna throw that back to you, Emma.
Yeah, sure. So you want to do maybe 2 more cards?
Yeah,
of
let's do
this?
2 more cards.
Yeah. So you can have it go on super long, make it super short, do a 5-minute story. It's very flexible. Yeah. So we were. I don't want to say enjoying, but we were eating this gluten-free crane tartare avant-garde pizza, and we got down to. Oh gosh, we got down to the last slice, in there, and I think we actually Rochambeau'd it for who would have to eat that one, and I think you lost, so you were the one who had to eat that last slice of pizza.
I won. Oh wait.
Because
Yeah.
we couldn't let it go to waste.
Right.
Yeah.
Just heathens. No. So you picked up the last slice, and then we saw there in the pan there was something there underneath that last slice of pizza.
Oh man.
Ooh. Dude.
So you pick up this last slice, and then there's a little dude under there
In the pan?
in the pan,
Oh,
and he's just
a little
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like, yo, why are you like? He's like a hermit crab kind of little dude.
Aw, that's
and he's just
kinda
like,
cute.
oh, you ate my home.
Aw, that's sad.
Yeah, and he's real mad at us.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like, but we can't really. He's very high pitched, so we have trouble hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like, and we're like,
So-
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. We don't know what this dude's about, and we also don't know why this dude made his home underneath organic gluten-free crane pizza.
Yeah.
But
Each their own.
but man, he's real mad, and he starts kind of like,
Little
like
claws.
yeah, like real threatening.
Yeah. I was
Um,
scared.
Yeah. No, so I think we're gonna do. Let's see. We're gonna do hide, and I'm gonna throw it to Matt, and we're gonna say this is the last round. So you're gonna end this with our untimely demise. So
All
you get
right.
to you get
Tie
to
it
put
all
the
together.
bow on this package.
So this mini hermit man that was underneath our gluten-free crane undercooked pizza, or I'm sorry,
Tartare.
pizza tartare.
Tartare.
He then whipped out his tiny little knife and he cut off our individual hides to make a new home for himself. And then we died.
And we just kind of sat there. We were like,
Oh man, this little guy.
it was just like really fast. Just like,
Oh yeah.
So
Hermit claws.
that's kind of like the core experience. There's a few things that you can do differently. One that's sort of obvious is that when we first start, it's much easier to make like a funny story, real Coen Brothers kind of sort of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels kind of vibe. But we've also had people tell like incredibly emotional, like sad stories that ends with people crying, and like you can kind of use this as a storytelling device. In a variety of ways. Most people are going to play it fun. We've also had people play it solo as
yeah.
like fun ways to
Oh, that's
come up
cool.
with narrative stuff for short stories, or they're stuck on some fiction thing, and really use it as kind of like a tool in terms of creative, forcing yourself to do something, which can help unlock some creativity stuff. Also, there's some rules about the way that you are jumping in and out.
Yeah.
So you can just do more of a free for all, where you have the whoever just makes a word and then somebody else goes.
Slam it down and just have a more like a chaotic, hectic thing. I will
Very
say
cool.
too, it's also a very good two-player experience. It can be a very intimate kind of like it works great with groups. Like I've had to go up to 8 before,
Oh,
but
wow.
even just one-on-one, it's very like
You
it
have
works a
a
good
set
player.
path that you're working towards together as a team versus the other one's a little bit more hectic, I imagine, with 8
Yes.
people. Yeah.
absolutely.
Exactly. And it it's one of these things where when it shines, it really shines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not into storytelling games, this is probably not going to change your mind.
Fair enough.
You may enjoy it though, because one of the things that's nice is you can play it as narratively strong as you like. So we play with some people that are like sort of like really into storytelling and improv, and you'll tell whole like soliloquies of story, right? And it's just these really things. And other times you play with people and it's just kind of like one sentence.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, there's a little pizza dude under there. And he was
Yeah.
mad. And then you're like, all right, cool, next, right? So you
I
can
put on my
really,
hat.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You can really, you can interact with it at whatever kind of level feels right for you individually, as well as what feels right for the group.
Exactly.
You kind of get a sense. That's part of why it's so collaborative. Is you kind of get a sense of where the story is going, what kind of vibe the story has, what kind of story we're all telling. Plus, it also is a really interesting way to interact with death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a really heavy kind of thing where you're kind of like, ugh, like this is weird. We're talking about dying, and
Yeah.
and especially when you get into some of those really emotional stories, it can get weird.
That was one of my inspirations. A lot of people comment, they're like, "Oh, that's really dark." It's like, why is it about death? It's it feels weird to talk about it, but we don't really talk about it as people a lot. So
Make the
it's,
subject a little less taboo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of coming at it from an oblique angle, and just holding the space for it, and letting it fill the room, and kind of it's not meant to be. It's funny most of the time. It's not meant to be like a meaningful experience, but it's a cool way to talk about a subject that we don't talk about a lot.
Very cool. Where can our viewers go to find more information about this game?
So joyisdead.com is the website. It's got a web store. It doesn't have a ton of information. Because that's the information. Right?
Oh yeah, I mean that's pretty much the game
Yeah.
right there, right?
Yeah, there's more on BGG, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
the game's
Like-
on there for sale.
Yep,
too.
exactly. You can buy it direct from us. It comes in this cool little bag. The shop has a bunch of stuff. So joyisdead.com.
Fantastic. What else did you want to talk about today?
Yeah, so cool. So I want to just run through real quick because I don't know how many minutes we have left. But
Got
I
about
imagine it's
6-7 minutes left.
6-7 minutes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Rock and roll here. So the first thing that we'll talk about, just some of the other releases that we have right now. So this is a game called Stoner Parking Lot.
Okay.
And basically, we are all outside at a concert, and we, kind of want to like have
Party.
have a little joint in the van, right? And, we've been drinking beers and smoking joints all day, right? All of us, but just the two of us kind of want to we want to cut out, like we're gonna do we need to bring everybody? We're gonna chill in this particular situation optimally, right? And so the goal of the game is to collect a set of 6 cards that create the optimal experience in our van for the consumption of substances that are completely legal here. Yeah, so
Lighter.
the thing that's
Pizza.
really cool, well, so actually this is really important.
Oh, look at that. They go together like that.
So they actually all line up and create a panorama. I don't know which is the best way to do this here.
Or would it be a Vanorama?
Vanorama. I like it. I like it. Sold. Sold. So these are all the things that you sort of want to maximize your. This way. There we go. Maximize your. Boom. So if we can see that.
Yeah.
These are the 6 elements, right? So the game is really, really simple in terms of the mechanics. What you're doing is you're going to have a hand of 6 cards, and then you're just going to draw a card and discard a card. You can top deck, or you can take from the top of the discard pile.
Okay.
Because this just really acts as a variable timer for a situation where you and your partner are trying to communicate with each other. So you're going to be teams of 2.
Okay.
If I have all 6, I'm going to be trying to secretly signal my partner that we should go. If my partner catches me and says, "Oh, let's go," then I reveal. If I have all 6, we get a point. If we don't have all 6, everybody else gets a point.
Okay.
But also, very importantly, anyone else can catch me as well. So if you see me trying to signal Emma, and you're like, "Oh, let's go," I'm like, "Oh man," because you're that dude who rolls up. We're about to get in the van, and he comes.
Hey,
in,
where you guys going?
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you guys doing drugs over here?" Yeah, man. So you get in, and then so your team would get a point.
Okay.
But I can also try to fake you out, and if you call me, and I'm like Emma looks away, and I'm like,
Yeah.
then you're gonna be like, "Oh, let's go." If I fake you out, then we get a point too.
Gotcha.
Odd number of players, you're gonna have a narc. And so the narc is going to do
Of course.
nothing with the cards. All the narc is trying to do is catch anyone else with all 6.
Okay. So they're just trying to call everyone out then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the game, this is fun. This is really just there because what we're doing is all this. This is just to create
catalyst.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's about creating this experience where we're all looking at each other around the table
And if
very suspiciously.
if you were to be in a state where you are already kind of paranoid and hyper focused on details, it becomes a very
Yeah, so in states where you can legally consume marijuana, the game works great with kids with a different theme. It's a very simple game. It's fun. But if you are a consumer of the jazz cigarettes, it definitely is also designed to play into that sort of experience. And you're going to be you have people that are just pretty stoned, and they're trying to signal, and they're just and everyone's just I can't even tell if you're trying to fake me out or you're just that bad. So it creates a lot of these really ridiculous moments. And you have these fun things where you're just oh, I thought I had a bong. What happened to my bong? Right? It's a goofy little experience that's fun. This is box mock-up, obviously, but this cover art and then the van interior was done by this guy, Eric Roper, who actually did the album art for a bunch of really classic stoner metal records.
Huh.
So he was a friend of a friend, and we hooked up, and so this is actually very authentic to the
Legit.
experience we were trying to create. Because for me, there's so much stuff that's that kind of hippie stoner vibe, the Loonies and whatever, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But that's not my vibe. My vibe is definitely putting on Dope Smoker or Bongzilla or something, and then smoking a jazz cigarette. Definitely a little bit different aesthetic, right? So this is the rules, right? They're little. It looks like an old show flyer kind of vibe.
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
And it unfolds and you got like all the like like little little DIY lyric sheet kind of vibe. We've done some preview versions, like limited edition ones, that come packed in little paper bags.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
Sharpie on them and like a rubber band.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this is the actual sort of like more retail release. But this should be out sometime in the spring.
All right.
Then really quick, we have one more here that I want to get into. This is a game called Glamazons versus the Curse of the Chainmail Bikini.
Okay.
This is a game that is an incredibly late Kickstarter for reasons, primarily that I'm really bad at logistics. I'm good at making stuff, but not actually making the stuff.
I gotcha.
So this game is designed by myself and Trish Loader, and then we have art from a couple other friends. And what we are doing is we are a bunch of like recently graduated female like warrior types, and we go to the armor store and are given a bunch of chainmail bikinis, which we think is
ridiculous.
Is real uncool.
Yeah,
I'm trying to not curse actually. So it's real malarkey, and so we all decide to go out and help ourselves. So we're going to go kill monsters and turn them into armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have these little paper doll sort of like player mats here that we're using, and we are going to go out and kill monsters. We're going to have a best friend. So that's who we're going to go kill the monster with. And then we each have these attack cards, just real simple numbered cards. 1 through 8, we're going to have 2 of them. We're basically just going to bluff each other. So I'm going to say, like, I did 7 damage to that thing. Like I really, there's only enough guts for like 1 piece of armor.
Yeah.
And like we're being fair, we're being egalitarian about it. So whoever did the most damage, like you get it. That's fine. It's competitive, but not like too bad. But we're also kind of like, we're not the best people, so we might bluff a little bit. I'm pretty sure I did 7 damage.
Yeah.
Basically, again, it's a really distilled experience of we're looking at each other in the eye, and I'm like, this is a 5. And then you're like, okay, fine, but like this is a 6. And so there's like a little back and forth there, and then you can call or not call. If you let it stand, it goes away face down still. So I'm like, well, that was actually not a 7. This one though is a 7. Right? And so there's a whole little back and forth there. If you call somebody out, you lose worse. And what we're fighting for is we have these monster cards that come up. And so each here, actually, you got the little screen there. So each monster has different armor associated with themselves. Oh man, that capo looks real weird.
Yeah, a little green screening there.
Well, he's my favorite piece.
The see-through cap.
But so then what we're doing is this is a pre-production, so it's not exactly right. But these little reusable vinyl stickers. I don't know if anybody's familiar with these, right? That you'd play with as like kids.
Oh yeah.
Like color forms kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And so all the armor is actually these, and you're going to end up putting
that's cool.
This suit of armor, sort of like on your characters as you're playing through, and so it has this really fun little paper doll aesthetic tied to it. So you get to play like fun dress up in addition to
bluffing your friends.
Yeah.
Bluffing your friends, exactly. So this one is, like I said, this is production proof, so this one should be out relatively soon. We're close, very close.
Right around the
then
corner.
Really quick, I got 2 more that I'm not even going to bother like taking out, but these are just upcoming things. The next wave of releases, of major releases at least. We have Unsinkable, which is a game by Eric Slauson, and it is about survivor's guilt during the sinking of the Titanic.
Oh.
So it sounds crass to put it this way, but it's sort of a push your luck kind of thing. We are trying to get as many passengers onto your lifeboat as possible,
right,
and then choose to go back for survivors or not. But the problem is, much like the actual Titanic, your boat can get overloaded and capsize. You go back to pick up what you thought was 1 or 2 survivors in the water, and there's like a family of 10, and they're all clamoring into the boat, and then the boat capsizes, and then you're even more guilty about it. So that one is a real lighthearted romp.
Yeah.
And then the second upcoming major release is called Last Call. That's a game by Joel Sparks, and it is a cooperative reverse deck builder, and we are a bunch of addicts in recovery for alcoholism. and we're working together to try to get alcohol out of our lives, which is kind of the deck. And again, it treats it very seriously. Like it's not like a funny game.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of like laugh. It's like tragic laughs sometimes
Yeah.
if you're
Right,
like
right.
if you're
Dark
relating.
humor.
Yeah, if you're relating to some of the stuff. But you know, Joel himself has been in recovery for a long time, and this is definitely taking it a little bit more seriously. We're working out the details now, but we're probably going to do a situation like Tom's Shoes or whatever, where for each copy somebody buys, we donate a copy to a recovery program.
Oh, wow.
So we're really specifically making it so there's kind of like two modes. One is a little bit more gamery, but the other one is the same basic thing, but is much more accessible. And it sort of like goes through like super real stuff. Like, you know, cards are coming up. You have triggers. You know, you got fired, or you know, your college drinking buddy came to town, and you're like, ah, man, like this is really tough.
So dealing with real world problems within
Exactly,
the game, like that,
exactly. And then you have, you know, things that you're using to get it out is these kind of coping mechanisms. And so some of them are going to be stopgaps, like, you know, just go overeat. And
Yeah.
others might be like get really into exercise or something
Yeah.
like that. And that's going to sort of like help you get it out of your deck. And then when we make it to the bottom of the entire deck, collectively, hopefully everybody's clean.
That's cool. That's a very different take on a game like that. That's thematically, I don't think I've seen anything like that before. So that's interesting.
I mean, they call us Killjoy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Because we're the most fun. But I mean, I'm over here showing stoner
Games are
parking lot and
fun.
like, you know, dress up.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But you know, that's kind of the vibe, right? It's like we want to have cool art projects, and sometimes it's just a weird game with like cool art. Other times it has like a bit more of a aggressive social message. Other times it's just being weird. Sometimes it's, you know,
be
trying to
weird
have these
together.
different experiences. You know, and then we have a bunch of like random little stuff coming up. We got a couple dollar Kickstarters on the way with these little, you know, like games that I'm sending you in like envelopes and stuff like that. And you know, we're putting out more records.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start putting out cassette tapes actually as well.
Retro.
So, you know, we
I
put
like
out a
it.
7-inch already. You know, we sell like pins and stuff. We have these like buttons that say don't do sex with Republicans, but in a slightly ruder way. So, you know, we got lots of stuff. joyisdead.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. And thank all of you for watching at home. Make sure you stay tuned for more coverage throughout the day here at GAMA 2019. Signing off for now, though, I'm Matt. Have a good one, everyone.
See ya.